Hey family, welcome back to my channel. I am Deidre M, and I am here to talk to you all about early childhood mental health, and that includes toddlers as well. So I know a lot of you are like, mental health and infants do not go together. Actually, they do. It's a big thing in the early Head Start world and also any other child care program that tries or that focuses on being trauma informed, that focuses on being cognizant of the mental health of children at a young age. All of these programs are working their hardest to encourage parents and other caregivers to start at a really young age taking care of their child's mental health. And so let's just get into it. So when we say early childhood, infant, toddler mental health, we're talking about building relationships, trusting connections between the child and the caregiver. We are also talking about the ability for them to express and manage any emotions that they have, and we're also going to be talking about how their ability to explore the world around them. If they feel secure and attached enough to an adult, then they're going to learn to have the autonomy to explore other things and environments around them in a safe manner. But in order to be able to get to that point, they first have to build that solid foundation of healthy mental health. And a lot of people, I understand, are still probably thinking, but if a child has never, if they're new, infants are new humans, right? A majority of them haven't really experienced trauma. And that's because a lot of people equate mental health, they think it's synonymous with trauma or synonymous with just things, negative things that have happened. And that's not always the case. Again, it's about building that foundation early on of tools and skills to help manage mental health and emotions. So let's talk about the first thing to do and how do you build your infant or your toddler's mental health. First thing is to build a secure attachment. How do you build a secure attachment? Responding to a child in a calm manner, in a warming manner, in a manner that helps the child to feel like you want to respond to them. That is that eye contact, because that lets them know, I see you. I know that you need whatever it is that you need. It's that singing, it's that calm voice, that gentle voice, because those are the things that are going to help to take care of your child's nervous system. When children hear a whole lot of, negative talking, a lot of rah-rah, a lot of cussing, a whole lot of just back and forth, arguing, all those things, that dysregulates your infant's their nervous system, whether you know it or not. It's releasing toxins, stress hormones for them. And that's probably the worst thing that a child can start off in life having, is an environment that creates toxins or stressful hormones that are released in their system. So let's focus on having a gentle voice, warming response. When the child is in need, you are promptly and consistently responding to whatever it is they need, whether it's a diaper change or whether they just need to be held or if they need to be fed, because that lets them know, I trust that when I send out this communication, an adult is going to come to my rescue. An adult is going to respond, and they're going to help me meet whatever need it is that I have. And so the next thing is, you're going to start early with labeling the emotions. So when the child seems upset, you're going to talk to them. Oh, you're crying. You feel like you feel upset. Or, oh, you're smiling. That means you're happy. That means you feel happy. That means, something is funny. Go ahead and give them that language at an early age. Yes, a lot of people might feel like it doesn't matter at such a young age, that, words have no real meaning in the infant stage, especially those first couple of months. However, you are building the capacity for that language at an early age. So there are roughly 2,000 days between a child's birth and the day they enter kindergarten. And those are the most important years because you're building those synapses in their brains are making connections, right? And then after a certain period, after a certain age, those connections that were never made, they die off. So it's important to start now with that language because you're giving them early exposure. You're giving them the ability to learn early on what these things mean, what these words mean, and also you're practicing for yourself because if you start when they're an infant, when they become toddlers, and when they are, school age, you'll already have the knowledge of how to give them this language. You'll already be in the practice of doing it, and it'll be second nature to you, right? It won't feel like you have to learn while you're also trying to teach them at the same time. Next thing you're going to do is establish predictable routines because routines create trust. Routines say to the child, I know that when my mom wakes me up, she's gonna have a bottle. Or when my mom, after I have my bottle, I know we're gonna read. That helps give them organization at a young age, and it helps create trust because they can tell you what's going to happen next, nothing unpredictable. Every now and then, your routine, of course, is going to vary depending upon a person's lifestyle or what they have going on. But for the most part, you're going to have something that's consistent in your day to help that child so that they can continue to stay regulated. Next, you're going to create a calming, safe space. Now, I'm not saying, silence for hours because it's not age appropriate, unless they're sleeping. But you're just going to create space in your day to acknowledge calmness, to acknowledge wellness, whether that's taking a moment for deep breathing, whether it is, if you are religious, you're praying, if you feel like stretching is your thing, just taking a moment to acknowledge that calmness is a thing in your family, in your environment. Calmness is something you want to practice. Also, just and I understand if you have multiple children, or if you have just an environment that doesn't always allow, that's understandable, but it's just important to have some type of space somewhere, or either physical space or space in your day where you're acknowledging that calm time. It could be nap time. Right before nap time, you take a moment to wind down together, read a book, do a puppet, I love you ritual, any of those things. Next is talk to your child with regular language. So a lot of people do the goo goo gaga. That's not very helpful when it comes to building speech and making meaning of speech. And yes, making meaning of speech is part of mental health as well. So use real words, real language, whatever your language is, speak to your child in that language, because they're going to, again, build the capacity to learn that. They're going to eventually make those connections between your words and whatever the action is. So even if they're hitting at a young age, which is developmentally appropriate, it is on target for certain ages, then you are saying, no hitting, but you can do X, Y, and Z. Or if they are, screaming at the top of their lungs, you're able to say, oh, you don't have to scream. We can do X, Y, and Z. Like, you are modeling for them what it is that you want. And you're doing that through language, and they're making that connection too, you guys. Like, don't underestimate infants. They're and toddlers. They're making those connections quickly because they're growing so fast. Next is going to be regulate yourself. You as a caregiver, as a parent, as a provider, regulate your own emotions. Children, infants, toddlers, they can feel when a person's spirit is not right. They can tell when your demeanor is off. They can tell when something isn't right. They feel that. So if you are responding to them, respond in a gentle, calming manner. And sometimes as a caregiver, you have to take a step back. You get overwhelmed if you have multiple kids, or if this is your first child and the whining and the crying is just not either what you're used to or not something that you have the capacity for at that moment, take a moment to step back and say, okay, what do I need to do to take care of myself first so that I can regulate, so that I can then help them to download. We call it downloading your calm. So you want them to be able to feel your calmness, so you're able to pick them up, put them on your chest, start breathing with them, start counting with them, start wishing them well, letting them know that you are safe, you are okay. Let them know you are loved. These are the things, these words, this language, this calmness are the things that are going to help them to download that calmness that you are trying to achieve. So first things first, before trying to respond, if you're dysregulated, regulate yourself first. Those are my top 6, I think it was 6 of them, top 6 tips for helping you to build your child's mental health. There are a lot of other things you can do as well, such as reading books. There are tons of things you can do, but these are the major top 6 things that I normally talk to parents about, or teachers, caregivers, all those people, because these are the people that are building that foundation for young children at an early age, and it's important. So if you have questions or comments, leave them down below. Don't forget to like and follow. Also, tell me what you do to help build your child's mental health, to help sustain it, to help create a strong foundation. I want to know. I want to hear what you guys have to say and what you're doing. Until next time, be happy, be well, be whole. Talk to you soon. Love you. Bye.